So I just watched Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm literally recording this after I just got home from the theater, so it's still fresh on my mind. But if you're wondering whether Spider-Man Brand New Day is worth watching, the answer is absolutely yes. And honestly, I wasn't expecting to say this, but going into the theater, I thought this was going to be another fun MCU Spider-Man movie, but instead I walked out feeling like I just had watched the strongest Tom Holland Spider-Man film to date. Not because it's the biggest or not because it's packed with fan service, but because it finally feels like Spider-Man has truly become Spider-Man in this. This review is completely spoiler free, so don't worry, I'm not gonna ruin any surprises, but let's talk about why I think Brand New Day is easily the best movie in Tom Holland's trilogy. Or I guess now you can say quadrilogy. One thing that immediately stood out to me was the tone of the movie. It feels more mature than the previous Tom Holland Spider-Man films, while still remembering that Spider-Man is supposed to be fun. It balances emotion, humor, action, and character moments better than any of the previous entries. There are funny moments, there are emotional moments, there are tense moments, but none of them feel forced. Everything flows naturally. One of my biggest criticisms, though, of the recent Marvel movies is that they'll interrupt emotional scenes with jokes too much. Brand New Day doesn't do that. When it wants you to feel something, it lets the moment breathe. That alone made the movie feel more confident. I also think that this is Tom Holland's best performance as Peter Parker. We've watched him grow over multiple movies, from the excited kid in Homecoming to everything that happened in Far From Home to the emotional ending of No Way Home. This movie feels like the payoff of that journey. You can tell Peter has changed. He's more experienced, more independent, more confident, but he's still unmistakably Peter Parker. Tom Holland does an incredible job balancing the everyday awkwardness with the responsibility that defines Spider-Man. It feels like the character has grown up alongside the audience. Now let's talk about the action of the movie. Without spoiling anything, some of these action sequences are absolutely incredible. They're creative, they're easy to follow. One of the biggest issues with superhero movies lately is that action seems sometimes become a giant CGI spectacle where you can't tell what's happening. That wasn't the case here. Every fight feels intentional. The choreography is great. Camera work is fantastic. And Spider-Man actually moves like Spider-Man in this movie. The swinging, the acrobatics, the web combat, everything looks smooth. There were multiple moments where I caught myself smiling because it felt ripped straight out from the comics. Another thing I love was the story. I'm trying hard not to spoil anything, but it feels more personal. Instead of trying to constantly set up the next Marvel project, it focused on telling its own story. That's something that I really appreciated. It feels grounded, it feels focused, it feels emotionally driven. Even if you're someone who's getting a little tired of giant universe-ending stakes, I think you'll appreciate this movie because at its heart, it's a Spider-Man movie. It's a grounded Spider-Man movie, not just another MCU movie. Critics have similarly noted its more intimate, character-focused approach compared with some recent Marvel entries. But now here's the big question. Why do I think this is the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie? For me, Homecoming introduced the character, right? Far From Home expanded the world, and No Way Home delivered unforgettable moments. But Brand New Day feels like the complete package. It takes everything from those movies that it builds and combines it into one film. The emotional moments hit harder, the action is stronger, the pacing feels tighter, Tom Holland gives his best performance, the cinematography looks fantastic, the soundtrack is great as well. But most importantly, this movie feels like it finally understands exactly who this version of Spider-Man is, and that's what puts it above the others for me. Overall, I would say that I absolutely loved Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's exciting, it's emotional, it's funny, it's visually impressive. What more could you ask for, right? And it reminded me why Spider-Man continues to be, at least to me, one of the greatest superheroes ever created. If you're already a Spider-Man fan, you're probably going to have a great time with this movie. If you've been waiting for Tom Holland Spider-Man to really come into his own, I honestly think this is the movie you've been waiting for. For me, it's not just my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, it's one of my favorite Spider-Man films that I have seen. And the rating I would give it is probably a 9 out of 10. Or forget that, a 9.5 out of 10. But yeah, that's all I got. But if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and let me know down in the comments. Do you agree that Brand New Day is the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie? Because that's what I think. And this is just our first watch. I only watched it once. I'm going to watch it again and again and again and again probably, so I can get probably a different opinion probably later. But right now, this is what I think of it. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.